morning, good morning, good morning, YouTube viewers, good morning, Facebook Nation. Good morning to all people, all colors, all races, all languages around the world, men, women, children. Good morning to you all. May you have the best day humanly possible, and for whatever goals that you have set forth for your day, as long as it entails and encompasses the benefit and the addition to the betterment of all of humankind, may those goals come to fruition. So this video that I'm doing, even though it's nighttime, it's a good way to wake up. It's something that you can listen to in the morning, because this video will give encouragement to all people, no matter what your race is, because we all face a variety of things in our lives. So there are some comments that I make, and then there's some comments, like I say, when you come to an awareness, a true person, whether man or woman, a true person will admit, to things that now that they come to an understanding, they're able to say, hey, I'm going to look at these things in a different way. So there's comments that I have made regarding the Reverend Jesse Jackson, also regarding Al Sharpton. Although I don't approve of, the direction that they took off, and when they separated from Martin Luther King, they went in these directions, and it was about money, and it was about power, and it was about manipulating the people. However, every so often I go back, and this is what I encourage all, people of color to do, as well as all people, that of any color. Go look at that time period, because that's the time period that we're in. It's a time period that we never left. It was only through the events, through the pandemic, where, these things came to light, that these things had never changed. They still happen, and we still face them today. So what I'm saying about Reverend Jesse Jackson, and I'm only speaking about him specifically, and fair use, because this is all historical and documentary, statements that, events that he put out there. So, it's not something that shouldn't be talked about. But what I want to do is I want to talk about the specifics of, Martin Luther King, the movement, things that were, we as black people, we faced, because we still face it today. One of the things that Martin Luther King did, what made him such a great man, was there's a lot of content creators, as well as a lot of, black people, leaders that are out here today doing the same thing, but they get bashed. And as soon as we say something against religion, it's automatically, we get demonized. And I'm part of a network, not a network, but I'm part of a group of people, and this is all pure light, because we say the same, our message is the same. We just come at waking up and bringing awareness in various ways. And I choose sometimes I'll choose a psychological path, which is mostly what I do, psychological. But sometimes I'll intertwine religion into psychology to say that, hey, this is saying the same thing. And, but sometimes, because we live in a world where things are so one-dimensional that it gets misconstrued. And I had just got a message from this brother who, he's a good brother. I don't take nothing away from him. I don't take anything away from our people, because I know that there's a lot of manipulation, a lot of brainwashing going on within our race. And it's a billion, trillion, over the years, $1 trillion industry that's spent on, dumbing us down. That's just a phrase. It's not what I think about us, because we're far intelligent. We built so many structures where our history has been stripped away from us, from the things that we built that are still upon this earth today. So, we are an intelligent people. But to get back to Martin Luther King, what Martin Luther King did was, what made him so great was Martin Luther King went into all the religious circles, all the different denominations of religions, and he challenged those pastors, he challenged those reverends to say that, hey, look, we might have differences in what we believe in, but at the end of the day, we are human beings. And that's, as us, as a people, we have to take on that same personality. We have to take on that same demeanor, that we have to let our differences aside, and we have to speak up when it comes to things where it's the entertainment industry, where, we're being belittled, where the educational system, where they want us to continuously be dumbed down, where the workplace, and specifically the workplace. What many of you don't know is that Asian men make more than white men in this country. If you take the value of $1, Asians make $1.15. The white male makes $1. Non-white Americans make 97 cents, and the black man makes 87 cents on the dollar. That hasn't changed. We've always been in last place. And at what point do we wake up as a people? And my thing was, this is what one of the other content creators was talking about. He was talking about coding, putting coding, putting trades back into the schools, and this is what benefits us. So we can sit back and we can talk critical race theory all we want. It's not going to change that 87 cents on the dollar. It's just not going to do it. And at what point do we wake up? And we have to stop hiding behind. No one is saying, hey, don't believe in your Bible, don't believe in what the Messiah, don't not to believe in him. But you also have to realize that where man is involved, man has an interest. Because if say, take for instance, Jesus said to Peter, when you leave Jesus, who's gonna, or yeah, when you leave Jesus, you're gonna be gone. Who's gonna take over? And Jesus' response was, if you think you're first, then you're gonna be last. So to me, I don't care how you cut it. That means no. What he did say was for everybody to just go out and spread the word. And he said to do two things. And he said to love the Most High with all your heart and your soul. And then he said love humanity as you would have humanity love upon yourself. And we live in a world where this is not happening. It's not happening. And like I say, I have friends from all various colors. I have friends, who are white, and they'll lay down their lives for me just like I would lay down my life for them. Friends who wouldn't run in the face of violence. I remember, just to get away from it for a minute, I have a friend, and his name is John. I worked with him. And at the time, I was always wondering why this guy, he always wants to hang around with me. It's like one of them guys that, he wants to be cool. And it was like a friendship that just didn't match. I always thought that, hey, I'll hang out with him. I work with him. He's cool. He was good heart, really, really good heart. But I remember we had got pulled over, and we got pulled over in Hamden, Connecticut. We get pulled over. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. He's dropping me off, and his car was unregistered. But the thing about this incident is that when they pulled him over, they didn't go after him. They didn't could care less about his car. For whatever reason, another cop came on the side of the car where I was, turned around. He didn't ask me for a license ID. He didn't ask me for anything. He just snatched me by my shoulders. He did not open the door, and he snatched me out of the window. And there were 3 other cops, and they were like just hitting me. And he could have sat there, and there was another friend that I had who I thought was cool. That was my boy. And he's in the back seat. He does absolutely nothing. John gets out of his car, runs around, and I remember him grabbed the cop, and he's like, hey, what are you doing? And they were like, look, you want what he's getting? So, but it stopped. He stopped what was going on. So there are good people, but there's so many people that, are various races where, they'll be around you and, they know what we go through, and they could care less. They can let things happen to you. You know what I mean? So I say that there are good people all over this world, but for us as a people, as a black people, we tend to find more excuses than not to stand together. We divide apart, and we really need to stop doing that. And we need to, there's content creators where, you hear things that you don't want to hear, but who wants to hear the truth about themselves? So I appreciate all the people who come to my channel, as well as the other channels that are out there that are being truthful with people, because as long as we continue this path, and I can honestly say that this path is within every family, because it's in my family, that type of division where, it almost sometimes feels phony. And, I want to try to, speak as much as I can, because I wake up every day, I live every day wondering how to make this, make this world a better place, and that's something that most people don't do. Most people carry on that attitude that I got my own problems and, this and that, and I can't be worried about this. But these things are all coming to our door. We got disasters that are coming to our doors. We have so much uncertainty, uprisings, anger, and violence. People waking up, going into their jobs, taking out their frustrations. People, just in so many ways, just showing disregard for human life. And they're jumping and crowding together to push the anger that they feel, regardless of what the situation is, has nothing to do with the anger in which they're feeling. So, we really need, good people need to, yes, really start coming together and to, try to do things for one another. And I want to leave you with this to let you know that this is just, it's not just a black thing. This is an all race thing. Usually I walk in the morning, so after I finish, I go and I do my walk on the trail. I went to the shopping center, which is around the corner, and this is what is diffusion of responsibility. So As I'm coming back from the store, a woman is literally, her car is stuck on the train tracks. On the train tracks. That's not the first time I helped someone there. So that's not the first time, but it's for whatever reason, people's cars shut off by that train tracks. Not strange, I don't know what it is, but her car, she's out of gas. But the thing was that there was a line of traffic, and then cars are just zooming by her, beeping, and like, no one's helping her. They're more or less, berating her for her car being stuck there. Like, get out, So she was at the point, as I'm walking, she looks like she's ready to cry. Like, she's trying to get in touch with someone. She's shaking. So, I take my headphones off, and I'm like, Miss, do you want me to help? I'll push your car. I said, you need to get your car off the road. So she says, well, I'm out of gas. I'm out of gas. So she's handing me a $20 bill saying, can you go and just grab some gas and put it in? So at the same time, a policeman was coming up behind her. So I said to her, I said, I can't take your money and move right now. I said, it'll be better if, when the policeman comes up, I can say, hey, I'm pushing the car, that I'm going to move your car for you. So the policeman, comes out and he hears this. So he's like, oh, you're going to help push the car? He said, I'll help you push the car. He said, you know what the problem is? I said, I think she's out of gas. So he doesn't ask her for ID or anything like that. He's just, let's get your car off the road. So in order to do that, remember, there was a bunch of cars that were lined up and, doing all kinds of stuff, just going by her, beeping, beeping. So when he's directing the traffic to get the cars so that they can clear out, so that we can push the car into, the shopping center, I'm on the car with my hands, and you got to push the car, like, put both hands on the car. So people literally were taking pictures like, oh, they're busting this black guy. So, I mean, it tells you about human perception. And this is what I said to the cop. He said, what is this person? Because not the drivers, but the people who were in the cars, they were taking out their phones, taking pictures. So he's like, what are they doing? And I said, that's human perception. They see a black guy in the middle of the road. You see a nice car because the woman who was driving, she had a really, really expensive car. So, you see a black guy with his hands on the car. It's like, I said, oh, they're taking pictures. I think they think this is like a major drug bust or something. He starts to laugh, and we have a laugh. But the thing about it is that after this happened, we get the car off the road. The cop says to me, he's sharing, he's still sharing a joke of what had just took place, even though the joke was double-sided. So this is why he was, good with it. But there was multiple meanings, rather. But the woman, she's like, no, here, take the $20 bill that she was really originally handing me, and I'm walking away. And the officer's like, I think she wants to give you a reward. And I said, no, the only reward is the reward that we gave her, that we were, we were good enough to, get her off to the side of the road. He's like, you want to ride? I was like, no, I'm good. And he was like, all right, thank you, and he shook my hand. So, long story short, it's like, we have to do things in life, and we have to cross these barriers where it comes to, different races and reaching out to people, because not all people are bad. But as long as we continue to keep nurturing this perception that we have to be divided, or we have to think a certain way, or we have to be a certain way, then we're going to continue to have what we have. So I'm just saying that all people, we need each other. But for, people within my race, we face a little more resentment. We face a little more hostility when we're saying we're trying to gather people to do the right thing. So this is what that's about, which points back to Martin Luther King, that, this man gave his life, and there's many others who gave their life for us to have the advances that we have today. But we really need to always remember and to teach our children what these struggles were really about. And this is my generation, not the younger generation, because they don't know. So with that, everyone, I just had to put that video out there, and for that good brother, Jonathan, I know you're going to come to my channel, because the way you came at me on the other video that was through another content creator, you said some strong stuff. So I just wanted to clarify what it is that I was saying, not only in my response to you, but in response as well as to this video. So it has nothing to do with what you believe in, or what your religion is. It has to do with what's right as a human being and what is fair for all. And with that, everyone, men, women, children around the world, no matter what language, no matter what color, no matter who you are, may you have the best day. May you have the most awesome day, and be the best person that you can be, and for whatever goals that you have set forth for your day on this day, as long as it benefits all of humankind, may those goals come to fruition. And with that, everyone, peace and blessings.